the world's going to be safer if Trump's in charge. Like, this is...
It annoys me. Really annoys me.
I'm gonna clip this and put it in the chat.
Yeah, I don't know why we're not seeing more of them.
Unlike carbs and dairy, it is so easy to digest. All right.
And how long have you been waiting to say that?
So long since the start of the episode.
No.
Hey, we're back, episode 45. No Joe in the building. Welcome back to the Peppercorn Boys, where the group chat became the podcast. I'm Bruno.
And I'm Scott.
That's weird, man. It's
weird.
strange, isn't it?
It is weird.
I feel like I'm the only one keeping that alive right now.
Yeah, I definitely think you are. And also, I've never done one of these kind of where someone's in America.
Oh, yeah, you haven't.
So you got a couple weeks of us to...
Hey, what could happen? It could be explosive. It could be lovey-dovey. It could just be the normal great content that we put out each and every week on Apple, Spotify, and Amazon Music, and the visuals are on YouTube.
I love that. We've done that out early doors. Very impressive. That was a good segue.
I like it, mate.
You're like
the
a professional
stuff. It's just coming. Coming. You've caught me
mid-cum
in a good.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said,
what did you say? What?
Sorry. I know. I was just saying. I just caught you because you were coming, but I caught you mid-cum.
Oh,
and that's what we've got.
Hey, not this time.
That's right. Not this time. No, it does happen. They do call him Jim in some circles.
Oh my god!
Again. What was her name? The woman in that. You'll know immediately. Heidi is in my head.
I am special lady. Oh my god! You've put me on the spot.
Nadia.
Yes. It's
okay.
Nadia.
Yeah. No, that was a good reference actually. We're rewatching New Girl at the minute, and the McMahon, that bit is I can't deal with it. Just she goes Vilda Valderrama. McMahon.
It's so good.
Gets his cheese, so comes off spaceship.
I need to get Disney Plus, I think, just to get that back again.
Definitely. We kind of we accidentally, we basically were going to bed and Lissy was like, just throw something on that we like. And I was like, cool. So I put episode 1 of New Girl on. And with New Girl, we do go through it, but sometimes we'll kind of throw on like season 4 or 5 or something like that. When they really got into kind of their groove. And
you like going for special things. So like when it's Halloween, you go through the Halloween episodes of stuff. Yeah.
So we do kind of those, and then what happens though is you watch the Halloween episode, and then you keep putting on each night, and then you finish the series from that point. And I put on episode 1, and that was the mistake. So now we're kind of, well, not a mistake, but I haven't watched those early episods in forever.
A happy coincidence.
So funny.
Yeah, they are so good. They're so good. I need it because I finished Gossip Girl again. I think it's like my third or fourth run through, and obviously what went down in the group chat between us. I did a complete 180, and it's not for you, Scott. Okay.
Yeah, you've unrecommended it to me, and I appreciate it because it would have obviously, and we know how horrible Blake Lively is. So, like, I just wanted to make sure.
How dare you?
Before I got overly invested. One thing that hasn't happened is that Pretty Little Liars had that spin-off. They had a few spin-offs, but there was a newer one, and the only reason I remembered
it, the iPlayer.
Yeah. So I was watching on HBO Max at the other two Peppercorns house in Orlando, but that was 2 Octobers ago, and we got through like episode 6 out of 10 or something.
That can't have been 2 Octobers ago because I was there 2 Octobers ago. Was I? No,
I went 2 Octobers ago, and then July the next year, and then July this year.
Jesus!
So I've done 3 trips.
You're outdoing me at the moment. It's mental. I have still got one lingering for December.
Yeah, are you still doing that?
We'll see where we are. Where we are. Hey, I have the holiday.
Okay.
So
but you like to be really planned. So you like to be. You like to be. Like 3 months isn't enough planning. It needs to be 7 or 8. So I'll see what happens here to kind of make my decision. Nah.
How dare you?
What reminded me was because Joe is overseeing the Peppercorn.
He is.
And it was October, and that's monsoon season. So I said to him today because it's first proper day. And I said, have you had any rain? He said, nah, nothing yet. But
I think you came back early October. I went late October.
It was very early October.
Short period of time on it, yeah.
The only reason I say this is I have it as October because Horror Nights were happening because Lewis went to one.
Yeah.
But the thing that's throwing me off, is I watched Dallas Cowboys opening game against Tampa Bay while I was there.
September then, isn't it?
So it must have been late September, but it went into very early October or something.
Yeah. And they start the horror things early anyway. They like to drain it for everything they got.
Yeah. No, but
everything it's worth.
He's already ran into the giant Omos.
He has straight off the bat. Straight off the bat. What else has he been doing that hasn't gone into the Peppercorn chat?
Well, he messaged me. It would have been. I think they did all right on customs because they were delayed.
Okay.
So nothing worse than getting delayed. Really.
Yeah.
But
there's not.
They got their and visa and stuff because I think he messaged that they had landed, and it was maybe an hour later he was at the hotel. So I mean, he must have got off, and visa must have been pretty much non-existent, and they had already ordered a car to pick him up and take him to the thing. It was scheduled for time. Like they rang it in once they landed, and then went to visa control, cool. Went through straight into that humidity, slap you in the face, get in the car. And the international drive from there is like 25 minutes. So
yeah, it is, yeah.
And I tell you this episode's going up on Friday. I'm not going to tell you exactly what hotel he's staying in because obviously I don't think you should do that.
Oh yeah.
But
no.
The hotel is like 5 doors up from where we stayed when we ordered the pizza and I got shouted at by a guy who looked like Taz, where we found bloodstained sheets. Hey,
and Peppercorns, if you go back to episode maybe like 3-4 when we go down American Lane, you'll find out the name of that hotel. So get to
do your
digging.
Research. You'll be like that TikTok guy. Who's that TikTok guy that kind of someone put up an Instagram picture and you'll find out exactly where they are.
I got so much time for that guy.
I think it's just mad. It's such a skill. Because I've done things sometimes where like I'll be like, oh, I remember that person from school. I'll Facebook search them, can't find them, and I'm like, I'm out of ideas.
Do you know who our Yuval is? Is Josh.
Oh, is he really good at it?
Yeah.
I think Ohio's quite good at it as well.
Yeah.
We got us kicked out of the hotel because of that kind of talent. Because of the towel girl he added
the one that you tried to the one that you tried to put onto me. I like to think I'm quite good at myself. Like
I think I'm decent at it. I feel like I hit a little bit
of a sleuth, don't you? You feel like FBI, CIA, you know?
Yeah. Well, I think that's why I love Catfish so much. I have a horrible. No, this isn't bad. This is going to add to the podcast, I swear.
I hope so.
My camera is slightly pointing down. It's fallen. So the last maybe 3-4 minutes has been just off my chest and middle of my face.
No.
Yeah, boy. So from what I've heard, I think they landed, and they got through in really good time, but Lisa was knackered. The night before when they left, I said to them, whatever you do when you travel, if you land at like 9 at night, stay up at least an hour or so.
Oh, yeah.
Go out, get some food, do something.
Have to get to that nice bit, and then,
You got to get some blood in the legs, walk, and you'll just get rid of that kind of jet lag. But apparently she fell asleep. But Joe had a little wander down eye drop at like 10, 11 at night. Got himself a beverage, and he went and watched the Arsenal highlights in the lobby and then crashed about 12. And then today I said to them, because they're kind of north of iDrive, I said, just walk to Icon Park. It takes like half an hour, but you'll get to go past all the kind of typical things. I don't know if this is blowing mine and Joe's, because we like one thing I'm half decent at is geography as far as places we've been once I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm not like you with roads and all that kind of stuff, but iDrive, there was an Applebee's just down from Joe, and I was like, that would be that you could go there. It's the one that we went to just up from the Ramada. Yeah. So yeah. In my head, because there's a old water park, isn't there?
There was a old water park, yeah.
I didn't realize how much that curled around, and we walked all the way around there. I thought it was straight. So like Joe's around the curl.
Oh, okay.
If you imagine like an R, Joe's at the end of the R. We were at like here. I didn't realize that, there's that big hotel with the ball on it on the left, and there's like a plane crash looking golf course.
Yeah.
That is on the straight once you've done the bend. So it's going well away and what you don't realize is, that ball hotel just behind there is Universal.
That's crazy. I haven't been to iDrive in forever, so it'll take me a bit to get my bearings. But I feel like whilst I'm on it, when I get back on it, dip my feet in the water, I'll be fine.
Yeah, I want to put together a little American tour for wrestling. We have some decent contacts now. Obviously, shout out to Fuego del Sol from AEW, and the Peppercorn Boys. But somewhere in between all that, basically somewhere between Texas and Oklahoma and Florida, we've got a decent amount of basically companies that would use us.
Yeah.
So if we can sort out a visa or something like that, but I was saying, do you know what we should have? You to come along just to podcast and enjoy the ride. And it's just
I would.
Texas Oklahoma. We'll go chase some twisters.
Yeah.
And, And head along. I think Alabama, we might have a couple, and then down into Florida. And then obviously piece up with seeing the peppercorns and doing all that and just going out I drive.
Yeah.
But I think that's definitely in my idea. Like, it wouldn't be the the most holiday trip, but I just think it'd be like a real cool, like, businessy kind of trip,
I quite like it. I think as long as, like, if we land in like Austin or something, or Texas, and then go.
Yeah,
I think
that's what I'm thinking. Is like
I think we have to probably touch on Louisiana a little bit. Like, it would be rude not to.
I think it'd be rude simply because Louisiana has a state commission that it needs a lot basically in like a period of time, which isn't a problem. We do have bloods now, thank you AW. But the state commission, but it would be silly not to go in there just to have the food, sample some food. And I mean, they went 18 days without murder, so I mean, we're safe now as well. So that's really cool. Obviously, they're back to it though.
As long as Saints are winning, that's all that matters.
And they're not. And Derek Carr is something's going on with the boy, but I'm just saying.
We'll see.
But no, he. Other than that, I think today, they walked to Icon Park. They went to Old Red, not in, but they just kind of sussed out where they were. I shout out to Jacqueline, one of the singers at Old Red that we saw. She's there Friday, Saturday, so they're going to go Saturday night.
Ooh. Because
she's very good.
Are they going to take Sam?
Maybe, yeah. He cried last time we saw him.
Yeah, I know, that's what I mean.
Maybe we leave that story for a Patreon one day. I was like,
well, yeah.
There's more to it. Do you know what's funny? I don't know how to word it, but to give it like a cliffhanger to that is Sam got married last week. If he had, let's say, been married 2 years prior,
yeah,
he was very sad at that time because someone wasn't around. If he got married 2 years ago, but I mean, apparently he got married last week, so that's cool.
Hey,
what do you know?
What do we know?
We don't know. Hey, who would have thought it? Not me.
Who would have thought it?
Who would have not? But no, other than that, he said nothing. He was like, "I love it." He said, but he said the Trump stuff is wild.
Yeah, it's getting because it was the VP debates last night. I catch absolute footnotes. On socials. Yeah, and yeah, it's crazy.
And the horrible man they call Terry, aka Hulk Hogan, he has a beach store, and Joe has seen it, and he said everything in it's like half. It's like Trumpomania merch now. It's not just Hulk Hogan because obviously he's connected.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
terrifying. Yeah. It's like and did you? By the way, this is something we do need to talk about because we don't really care about politics. But obviously, bad man. But I mean, Purge. He offered up an hour-long purge.
Yeah, you know he can't. I think he's losing the plot.
I think he lost it a long time ago, but you're right, he has. It was an hour-long purge, and he said it should be very aggressive, and he said no, very aggressive. But we're big Purge fans, not
massive
of the
Purge
actual
fans.
Purge, but the film. Frank Grillo shout out, but
mate, it might solve everything.
I think it's anything. But I mean that's a talkable subject. I mean, to suggest essentially an hour-long purge is mad. Imagine the build-up to that.
He's running out of things to say.
A little bit. It's just crazy.
It's and with that JD Vance one, he was on it and they fact-checked him and they were like, I thought you weren't going to fact-check. I was like, what is this country?
That sounds like me on Gunners R Us podcast and iTunes and Spotify. No, that is mad. They're doing that in a political race.
And the weird thing is, he's still going to win because Kamala is still not the better alternative.
But Swift's got involved. I mean, that's a landslide now, isn't it?
Yeah, but demographic-wise, like, how many of the Swifties are going to be able to vote? And I had no idea. Like, I feel like they just want change, but hey, we'll see it. And I'm just going to sit back, get some popcorn, and enjoy the ride.
Yeah, I would say that, but I mean, having a quick like look around the world at the minute. I feel like the scariest thing to do is add a red hot chili to this very scary pot of food that we're baking in as well.
If you read into the all the stuff that they say, like what the verbiage that comes out of the mouth, it's gonna be, the world's gonna be safer if Trump's in charge. Like, this is.
And guys, and if you're listening to this and you happen to be in America, vote responsibly, but do vote. Smack down your vote. And again, I think this is a really good crossover because
in a long time.
We have to have this conversation. The Vincent Mann doc is coming out in the last week.
Yes, yeah.
Have you finished it?
That was on my. I finished it. I finished it. Yeah.
Again, as wrestling fans, didn't learn anything new.
No, apart from what I said with the Montreal stuff, but you kind of cleared that up. The fact that Brett was doing a doc. So
he did a doc, yeah.
How true was? How much of a work was that? So again, we'll see.
I said to Joe, it's such a weird one because obviously, like, the current allegations, take away everything else, is something that you can't really comment on because it's so bad. Like, it's so graphic.
Yeah.
And again, it's just awful. But if you could just look at it as just a documentary, obviously, imagine if, when we watch a documentary and it's on like a gangster from New York or something, and they go through his whole life. They've just done that with WWE. So, like, if you've never watched it, for example, it's already started happening at work.
You got the history of WWE.
Yeah, and people learnt more, and because obviously they did it originally to make a piece. It wasn't a hit piece, but to get everyone ready for WWE on Netflix, and it's turned into it's a bit more like our usual documentaries because there's so many scandals. But since then, I've seen like Vince Ozzy said that it's a hit piece, but a lot of people say hit piece. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't feel it was a hit piece at all.
I didn't think it was that much of a hit piece either.
I'm a massive wrestling fan. I grew up on Vince McMahon. That guy was the guy I wanted to work for. Obviously, life's changed now.
I'm a Paul Levesque guy for sure.
Paul Levesque guy. But I mean, it's so hard to explain. It was all accurate.
Yeah.
And it was. I don't think anyone really went on. Like, obviously, you had forget his name, the guy that's always gone after him.
Tony Atlas was pretty hard on him. I
say Tony Atlas was really hard on him. What Netflix don't realize is one of the least what's the correct person. Like, if I was going to put together a documentary on Vince McMahon right now, and I was going to do Netflix, and I understand wrestling as well as I do. One of the wrestlers I wouldn't have gotten as a talking head is Tony Atlas.
Okay.
Because he's done shoot interviews, he's said stuff, he's taken it back, he does weird things, he gets trodden on by women. Like, I mean,
and that's probably why they got him.
Yeah, and also that is totally fine what you do in his spare time. That isn't a judgment of character. I'm just saying he's done all these things throughout the time, and he turned up in a sleeveless shirt with a tie. Everything about it. Yeah, and again, they were trying to put forward this is a circus. I think that's what they loved. And when he turned up like that, I think they went, hell yeah. But WWE wouldn't do and again, WWE is insider, but they wouldn't have Tony Atlas on there. But a lot of places wouldn't because he might not have the merit.
It's not respectable. Right. It's, there is a thing source, something source.
Yeah, I don't think he's the most solid of sources. I know that's not the correct terminology, but everything they said was correct. I don't think they ever once said like, and that makes him awful. They were kind of like,
no,
I think he might be his character, and that was kind of what they were going for. But they had also people like Tripp saying the same stuff. Like he's kind of turned into his character. So.
Just turned up more.
Yeah, so
and you can kind of see like we went down. Obviously, get to the nitty gritty. Like he was abused and
abusers abuse.
Like abusers abuse. Like that. That's just like it's no excuse in the absolute slightest. But it's what's happened.
It's a vicious cycle. Yeah,
it is a vicious cycle. It's no excuse if. The accusations that have the recent ones, if they come to be true, I'd like to see him go down. I want to see billionaires punished. Like you can't just throw money at a situation and get through it. So I do. I think wrestling is in a better place going forward now. It would never have been in that place without him. Like let's not.
It wouldn't be in the best place it is now if he hadn't have left. So
so. It's I think it was definitely forced because he definitely wasn't going to retire or anything. He was going to ride that until he died.
I'm going to be honest. I kind of thought I didn't know Vince McMahon, but I kind of felt like I'd watched enough and dealt with him, not in person, but like, I felt like I knew him.
Close. Gold's Gym.
Yeah, Gold's Gym we've been near. And there was a bit where he was working out in our gym and I was like, I that's PTSD or something. But there was a couple of things he said between takes that obviously, again, they said editors use interesting techniques where they yeah, cool. But you did actually say there was periods where he said, like, if you retire, you might as well die. You shouldn't be here or something. And I was just like, what? I was like, why did that guy just say that? That's what like a 17-year-old says. And then like 10 years later, he's like, I don't know what I was talking about. I was just a kid. He's 77. So to say that shows you that being a billionaire, being a celebrity, all these things, Fire and a Kid were talking about it. You become something that you're not because you're so powerful. You think you can't be touched. So you say things that you think you can just get away with. And until that kind of gavel comes down on you, then everything comes back with it. All the stuff you got away with comes with it. And that's what I think is happening now is this thing is the worst thing he's done, I think, because it's of time. By
far.
But a lot of the other stuff was kind of so long ago. We don't know how much goes to what. And he's done so many settlements out of court that you're just like, is he avoiding PR or is he just so guilty that he's just trying to avoid it? I don't know.
I don't think so. I think the earlier stuff, I think they were trying to, like, it was the FBI going, I want to try and pin something on him to get it. Whereas I don't think with the steroid stuff, I don't think he knew, obviously, let's not beat around the bush, but I do believe him in the fact that he didn't tell people to do it, but his actions kind of,
he pushed the guys to a jail.
So
he's also a body guy, but I like the fact he was honest. He said, I used them. He said, I stopped when I got older because he obviously finds different ways of doing it in which they're healthier for, he wouldn't be here if he had abused it as much as people say he did.
No.
I don't know how he's still there. Honestly, he must have lived such a life. There was a bit in there that people have really talked about, and I thought it's really interesting. Shane McMahon. I love Shane McMahon. I'm a big Shane McMahon guy. He was talking about when he was a kid that he would wrestle with him, but it'd get to a certain point where they were like even, that he said Vince would like put his fingers under his ribs or like grab his skin really tight and then like pull his hair. He said this bit. It was just a random bit.
Okay.
He goes, he'd like dig his fingers in and then like grab my skin really hard, like up in my ribs, grab my hair and then push me down and then be like, he would say something like, by any means necessary, I cannot lose.
All right.
And he was like, and Shane kind of made a face like, that's just the way he was. And then people were talking about like therapy and all these things. They were like, this is so awful. Like, this is like the worst thing. And in my head, I was like, and I'll ask you the same question. Would your dad have done the exact same thing as mine did?
Yeah.
He would have. He wouldn't have allowed me to do it. He still wouldn't.
No, he would. No.
And I tell you, the hair does get grabbed, and all of a sudden it's like very like, oh god, and then you're like,
yeah.
And I was like, man, people really tore that apart, but that kind of shows you
it's perceptions of certain things,
and the newer world where everyone's got a comment on it.
Hot. Yeah.
And the comments aren't necessarily coming from. It's like, for example, Blake Lively. Everyone hates Blake Lively. Who hates Blake Lively? Maybe 100,000 bots on Twitter. But therefore, that's infiltrated another 50,000 people who have watched it and gone, oh, I don't like her. But that is kind of like modern society. And I think with that kind of thing is that exact thing. I was like, I think most people go, yeah, my dad wouldn't let me win either.
Yeah. My main takeaways was obviously from the stuff that I knew anyway was, one, he wanted to record Steph and Trips' marriage in real life. So that shows you the extent that he just doesn't like
understand
content.
Real life.
Technically, content is content. If he can profit from anything, he will do it.
Yeah.
All the stuff with the divas was just
crazy.
It's just a bit of a creepy promoter in it. And being the father of Steph's child.
That's the maddest one. And the crazy thing is that's been on DVDs before. Like, we've heard that story.
Yeah, we have. Yeah.
But now the real world's seen it and gone, why did no one pick up on it before? I was like, I don't know. But when you said about Stephanie said when I said no to him about the wedding, he said selfish. And I was like, oh, he's out of control. But I can't figure out where, and this is wrestling, and I mean, I'm someone who's been in wrestling a long time. Before that, studied everything I could. Some things in wrestling are a work to the point where people don't even know if they're a work anymore.
Yeah. And
I can't explain it because I think a therapist would pull it apart and say, everyone's crazy. Kind of. Yeah. But I don't know how much like the stories Trips and Steph were saying they thought they were telling a story about how crazy Vince McMahon is because it's a doc about WWE.
Yeah.
And they were going, oh, and he wanted to film my, and then when he goes to him, he goes, oh, yeah, I wanted to film it. I would have bought a pay-per-view. She was selfish and not letting me. They're building it up, but they don't realize it's becoming not a hit piece. I don't think it's a hit piece, but something else. And the work is making it worse for them. Because I know people wrestling very well that sometimes I don't know when they're working or not in just things they're talking to me about.
Hey, they die with the lie,
Yeah, like, it's an old school Carney thing, and I'm like the most honest wrestler, and that's why me and Joe, probably the good and the bad that's come with us is in wrestling. Sometimes you can't be like, and we're just like, hey everyone, good to see you, and we just say stuff if they ask questions, and if they don't, we don't. There's no kind of oh yeah, have a conversation with this guy, go to this guy, talk about this. We're just kind of plain Jane, and I don't know if it's probably a hindrance long term, but I just think there was an element of that. It was like the real world getting hold of wrestling and being like, do you know how much of this is wrong? And everyone going, yeah, all of it.
Yeah. But it was, but it also made great TV at the time, and it is what it is. There are some absolute stuff backstage that obviously happened because he settled with obviously Sable and stuff like that. But actually, Mazzaro stuff, I think if that is true, awful, unforgivable, like.
You have to face time for that because there should be repercussions for it. It's like Caroline Flack, isn't it? It's people have to face whether it's an editor of a newspaper or whether it's a boss of a company. Someone has to be made responsible for those situations.
Yeah, I agree.
Something you mentioned in the diva part. There is a part of wrestling that I will always defend, and I don't necessarily defend this because of what's come since.
Okay.
The same reason why I'll vaguely, not for me, defend the plastic bag on AEW recently.
Okay, yeah.
It made me very uncomfortable. I didn't really like it. I think there's other ways of doing that. Not that, but like something just to give you a shock. That a kid couldn't replicate instantly.
Yes.
Because in wrestling, for example, do you know what you can't do? Powerbomb your friend very easily. But you can put a bag on his head. Don't do it.
We sure tried. That's
yeah, we've done everything. But I mean... Pause. But what my issue is, and same with the Vince stuff, like he was an evil billionaire. What do evil billionaires do? And literally in hindsight, we saw they have affairs and they have younger women and they coerce people. He was playing that character, and people will say he was playing it because he was trying to cover up what he was doing in real life. That's all hindsight. I don't really have a problem with it because he's playing a billionaire. I don't watch Succession and go, oh my God, he got a prostitute. That's disgusting. It's like, well, no, because he's playing the character of what a bad person would do here, let's say. Not like having, like, if that's legal in your country, then that's not a bad thing. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like, same with like terrorism, things like that. Like, they were doing all the Iraqi and Iran stuff, and people were really unhappy about it. But I was like, but if you watch CSI, like right now, if you watch Law and Order, they're doing like, Israel, they're doing stuff like that because they're portraying what's happening in the real world.
Yeah.
No one goes, what are you doing there? Because wrestling blurs the line of what real is, what's not. And that's it's kind of inherently it's its own issue, isn't it? So
it becomes, I think, I do agree with where you're coming from with that, because all it kind of comes from is a little bit distasteful, but it is a shock factor. But if you look back on it, it's just like it feels like he's just putting himself in that situation. Like it could have been someone else, but again, it couldn't have been like he was the guy in that character. Like so maybe, but some of the stuff behind the scenes, obviously, with that making them feel uncomfortable, like that's. Like,
I also think some like there was like Stephanie. The fact that Stephanie came back to help it, and then once he came back, she instantly left again.
Yes.
And then now, like they literally had her out of Philly, didn't they? And she, like Tripp said, she had no confidence. She thought no one wanted to see her. And everyone was really happy to see her. And he was like, I want to bring her back in, but she feels like no one wants to be about her. I don't know what that's all about. And
that's kind of a smoking gun type thing that she just didn't want to work with him. Like,
yeah, but it's weird because she'd go on TV and be like, "Thank you, Vince," after all these allegations, and you're like,
"Yeah, I think she's still doing her," but he was running that at that point, wasn't he?
Yeah, true. He hadn't retired. He hadn't done the retirement. I think he had done because he stepped down. He retired. He stepped down. Then he kind of came back. He sold the company and re-retired because of the worse allegations.
Yeah.
And then Brock's not been seen either. So how weird is it that Brock's involved after all those years of Sable having
Yeah, I know. It's really
so
weird.
many things like that. So strange.
So strange. But with the Brock thing, I think it's like half probably not burying his head in sand. I don't think he really necessarily like cares in that point. I think he is such a I'm not working for anyone else but Vince unless the money is like
really good. I think he will never work for anyone but Vince. I think he's done. He's made enough money, but also with that, as they said at the end, he is still under federal investigation because of it. Because the claim in there is that it's trafficking. She was a part of a contract.
Yeah.
If that is true, then they will both go down for a very long time.
Yeah.
Which they rightly should. But I assume it's probably I don't know. I don't know what will come of that, but it's really wild that I just find it mad that I was just like, God, yeah, I forgot about the Sable's lawsuit. And then she came back and played the character of what the lawsuit was about.
Yeah, I know.
And then she met her husband, who later on is in a federal investigation with the same guy again for similar allegations.
That's the wrestling biz, isn't it?
Well, their one, not mine.
Or biz as a whole.
Did you say or? Like the brothers or? Don't do that.
Because it happens in every facet. It happens in financials, it happens in everything.
Yeah.
But this is just a bit more on screen, isn't it? But
and I think naturally as it goes to Netflix, more and more is going to happen.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
So many people are going to pick up wrestling because they're going to they're going to watch that doc and go, that's a bit of fun though, isn't it? Even though in amongst all the scams, they'll be like, that guy's not there, but I mean, it looks a bit of fun. They're then going to watch it. The Rock's going to be on there probably night one. Everyone's going to go, I'm going to watch this every week. Why not? So there's going to be so many massive eyeballs, including to Pretty Deadly, who therefore are going to bring the eyeballs to this show, the Peppercorn Boys.
Yeah.
Talking of that, I've got one last kind of segue of this.
All right.
We're not. I don't know how to put this. We're not trouser guys, are we?
No, we're definitely shorts.
I've started to wear a couple of sets of trousers.
I don't go if I go out anywhere and it's not over 20 degrees, I wear jeans. Like I like to be respectable, but I'd be much happier in shorts. Yeah,
I mean trousers that aren't like jeans. Like this is around the house.
Oh wow! Oh,
right?
Wow.
Yeah, and I don't know how I feel about
cold. The weather is turning, but actually, to be fair, back in the day, you loved your checkered Calvin Klein
Tory.
pajama bottoms.
We sounded,
I know.
Yeah, true. I don't know. I'm wearing. I can describe them as 1998 rock, like the Adidas looking black silkies.
Is it the ones that I was like very
questionable about? Yeah.
Yeah,
well, not questionable. Super comfortable.
Yeah, but I was like they took me back.
Yeah, they got you. Didn't they? I'm wearing them, but sometimes I feel my thigh in them, and it really upsets me.
They made your tush like that dumpy.
Oh, of course, that's right. Yeah, when you grab just above your knee, and it feels a little thin sometimes. I don't know if you have this.
Yeah, I have this. Yeah,
and it's probably by normal standards, it's not. But sometimes I do it, and because it's inside a little silky trouser, it really upsets me.
Oh yeah.
No, I don't like it. It feels like my legs are wasting away or something. I don't know. It feels like something's changed. But no, I'm wearing 98 in a rock, and I'll always remember them that.
I like it, and they look very comfortable, and
they're very comfortable.
Hey, they're very.
Hey, all right.
What's the word I'm looking for?
Mm-hmm. Say less.
Yeah, say less. I wish I could. I
wish I could. Thick cargo trousers as well.
Oh, mate, I wish I could say this. They complement. They're very complimentary
of my figure.
To your lower. Yeah, there we go.
I've got a strong lower half. Upper half's awful, like a bag of chips. But I mean, the bottom half is strong. It's a lower body business, isn't it, babe?
It is, yeah.
That was kind of all the bits I had to kind of talk about. Right, but I did have a kind of a topic that I wanted to discuss.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, you're just leading this right now.
I'm sorry. Did you have stuff you want to talk about? Because
I do have stuff, but it's all right. We're rolling through it.
I saw a clip, and I saw a clip not on purpose because Twitter just gives you stuff that you see. This isn't bad, by the way. Twitter usually gives you really bad stuff. It was Sidemen talking about a clip, and KSI was on it. But they were talking about how often you shower a day.
All right.
And I know you're a clean man, go off king, you shower 2 or 3 times a day.
I'm I definitely shower once to as normal, but then if I get sweaty or something or grotty, then it's another shower.
Go off, King.
But yeah, go off, King.
That's from
why? What were they saying?
That's a reference to Anyone But You, the brother-in-law that's friends with Glenn Powell. And he showers the night after he's with her, and then from the harbour, and he goes, 2 showers in 12 hours. He said, "Clean King, go on." They were talking about it, and one of the guys said he showers 5 times a day.
Wow. And
the other guy was like, "Yeah," and I was like,
That's excessive, and I swear it gets a little bit. You're wasting away your body oils at that point, aren't you?
Yeah, like, and also the world's water, I think.
Yeah,
we're out of control.
That, yeah,
but
and that
it was 5 times. He was like, "Okay, what? How?" And he was like, "Well, I have 1 in the morning and 1 at night, obviously, as everyone does."
Yeah,
and I was like, "Yeah, yeah, of course." And he was like, "And then if I do like sport, I'll have a shower, obviously." But he said if I get sweaty anyway. Like if I'm hoovering or something, he gets sweaty. He's like, I'll have a shower. And he was like, but also every time he has a number 2, he showers.
Wow, fair enough.
Right. And the other guy was like, yeah, I probably do 4 a day. And I was like, and then KSI goes, he said, honestly, he said, I think once a week is acceptable. And he was like, because he said, you can wear deodorant and like after shaving that. He said, people wouldn't know for a week. And he said, and other than that, I can just dry myself.
Yeah, that's mad.
Yeah, that was. But I was thinking about it, and I was like, I'm a one a day guy.
Yes,
but no more. If I could avoid 1 in a day, like if I could not move, but be in a very sterile, comfortable place that I don't even feel like, because sometimes you just feel rough, don't you? Like even if you're laying in bed, that makes you almost want to shower. But if I could avoid 1 for a day and I could get away with it in some capacity, like I'm in a cold room all day and I just feel really clean at the end of the day, I would very happily not have 1.
Yeah, me too. If I'm going out anywhere into civilization, I have to shower. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I showered before I went to the dentist over there.
Man, mate. It depends. It depends. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm glad you're not gonna lie.
I've definitely had to have a shower after a number 2 before.
I've been involved in these situations with you. That's unfortunate about it. Patreon will one day have the full story of that Reading festival. I'll say that.
Oh wow, that one. Yeah, you want to? Yeah, that came up in my mind the other day. I was like, oh my god, what an absolute! I know I was overreacting, but you were not supportive at all. The friends,
I honestly thought it was a mixture of the funniest and grossest thing I've ever been involved in. So I couldn't handle it. And it was on top of already feeling gross and not great just because I was at a festival and it was freezing cold. It was like, Reading Festival's never had a night that was like -4 at 10 o'clock. And people actively left the Arctic Monkey set because they were, I'm going to die of frostbite or something. Like, it was horrid. So yeah, it was just, but we'll talk about that one day. If anyone really wants to hear about that. But I don't think I've ever had that where I've had, maybe if I've had like food poisoning or something, but I don't know what I'm talking about at this point. But definitely, as a number 1, they've ever caused you to have a shower.
No.
Yeah, I think as I get older, I think they're close to causing me to have to have a shower.
Really?
Yeah, I'm walking away and all sorts is happening. So yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Wow,
I used to laugh.
That's mental.
People.
That's mental.
I'd be like, these guys.
If I could get a bidet installed, I would be happy. But apparently, illegal in England.
Are they really? You can just get a hose pipe.
Yeah, I think so.
If you get upside down in your bath.
Yeah, makes no sense, but
yeah. That's gross, what we just talked about. But I mean, showering, for me, 1 a day. Under this video on the Peppercorn Boys on YouTube, let us know how many times do you shower a day? What's an acceptable amount and what is an unacceptable amount? I'd say unacceptable is once a week.
That's unacceptable.
Here's a question, though. Me and Lissy were on a dog walk the other day, and we talked about don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. That's like a saying. People say.
Yeah.
And we were like, is it because people used to shower in hierarchy? So like eldest to youngest, and the water was so murky you didn't see the baby buddy.
Yeah, maybe.
So you go down a drain.
I reckon you could probably Google the origins of that.
But we talked about it, and then I was like, that was what we used to do when I was young. And
I definitely had that, yeah.
I was the baby. But what I didn't understand is the sense behind it wasn't I don't think it's solid at all. I don't think any part of it is a solid thing to have done. But for me, the idea that my dad would have it first, and he was a mechanic.
Okay.
And then my mum, who was a nurse.
Yeah.
Then Joe, who had been playing at school. And then here's 4-year-old me, who has been in the house all day, not even dirty. Now I'm getting in.
Yeah,
thick.
you're getting more dirty getting in there.
100%.
I have a definition for that thing, but I feel like it's going to burst your bubble.
Oh.
So it is a definition to lose something valuable when trying to get rid of something unwanted. Example. John, I'm going to recycle my old phone because I'm getting a new phone next week. Sarah, keep the charger. You might be able to use it with the new phone. You don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. It's very weird.
How's that make any sense?
Yeah.
My one makes so much more sense.
I like it, yeah.
I really like my one. Jump the shark. What does that mean, Brennan? Can you look that up? Because I've never understood that.
Jump the shark.
I understand it when people say it. So, like, for example, if you and I went, we're starting a podcast, next thing we need is a road tour. You'd say you've jumped the shark there. So you've jumped from 0 to 100, basically.
There was another saying that I say don't run before you can walk with that.
Yeah, you sound like I'm hoist on a commentary.
The idiom jumping the shark or jump the shark is a term used to argue that a creative work or entity has reached a point in which it's exhausted its core intent and is introducing new ideas that are discordant with or an extreme exaggeration of the original purpose.
So like WCW in 2000, that is like they jumped the shark. Yeah. Because we used to do TDBS and Dan used to say, do you think they've jumped the shark a little bit? And I used to be like, but
some people have.
Yeah, like they have a thing, their repertoire. Yeah.
I have so many.
What was that one you used to say? Stand on bloody business or something you used to say? You used to say stand on something. You used to be standing on something. And I was just like, what? And then everyone around me was like, yeah, that's a saying. And I was like,
don't stand on ceremony or something.
That's the one, yeah. You said you're standing on ceremony or something like that. I was like, what?
But my main ones now are if the juice is worth the squeeze, which I'm never dropping.
Which is from Golden
ever. Yeah.
But no, jump the shark. But what I would like to know is, I kind of vaguely, when someone says it, I'm like, yeah, I get what you're getting at.
Yeah.
But why is it jump the shark? Like, what's the meaning of that? Is it like Free Willy?
I have no idea. No, because that's the whale jumping.
Based on what it is,
the boy, innit?
Yeah, I think jump the shark means you've exhausted jumping cars, jumping ditches, jumping gaps. You're now jumping a shark. You've taken it too far. Baby. You've exhausted all your options. That's what it is.
Is this like a?
100%. That's what it is.
We're now going into. We're now still. Yeah. We're now going into Friends territory. So, is it a card shark or a card sharp?
I don't know. I don't know that.
And there was something that popped up, and I was going to do it right at the end. Who named the Earth the Earth?
Right. The Lord Almighty. Praise God. Yeah, I'm God's child anyway. But
it's so weird.
The other one was it's kind of similar, but not. I used to say tender hooks.
Yeah. I used to say tent. You're keeping me on tenter hooks.
That is right. You're right there. Tenter. It's tenter.
No, it's tender.
No, it's not tender.
Tender hooks.
What tender hooks? Oh. You got some supple hooks there that you put them in someone, like in a fish, and it just fall apart.
You're keeping me on tender.
It's tenter.
I do know what you mean because I think
I used to say tender hooks. And everyone's like, oh, well, they saw. And I was like, what? And I was like, well, because you're on tender hooks. It's tenter.
Yeah, it is tenter, yeah.
But John Tenter, Earthquake. I don't even know what the word tenter means, though. But I know it because I write it in text now. And I always say tenter. But I reckon until I said tender.
I definitely use, obviously, I thought I used tenter and then I changed to tender. But tenter is a frame used for drying and stretching cloth.
Oh, and you're leaving me on those tenter hooks.
Tenter hooks, yeah.
Right.
God, we are learning and educating at the same time. This pod, if we don't move above Talk-Tuah to number 3, behind Joe Rogan and something else. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, whatever that first one you said, and then all the others. Do you remember when you were the first person to find her?
Mate, we have to, what did I say? We have to protect her at all costs.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that woman, but I mean, I didn't really know her, to be honest.
What was that squeak? That sounded like you just stood on Luke or something.
No, I'm in a room on my own.
Oh,
I've actually got a very small live audience.
Oh,
6 or 7 people there. They're supposed to be on jury duty, apparently, but I picked them up.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Have you done jury duty? Are we allowed to talk about that?
I haven't. I wish.
No, I haven't. I want to, though. Yeah.
I want to. But you don't get paid. You don't get paid. And I want something real juicy.
Yeah. Firstly, don't care about the pay. I'm doing it for the experience.
I'm doing it for the law and order.
Yeah, I'm doing it strictly for Elliot Stabler.
Yeah, I want to be a juror on
a big case.
Vince. Yeah.
On Vince's. Yeah, from a different country, they've brought in someone who doesn't even pay tax, and I love that. No, I've not done it. Are you allowed to talk about it once you do it? I think you are, aren't you?
I think so. Once you're definitely not allowed to talk about it or research it or anything whilst you're doing it. And then I think once the sentence has been done, then you can potentially talk about it, but it's a very strict no.
Are you allowed to say you're on?
No, you're allowed to say you're on jury duty, but you're not allowed to. That's the extent of what.
Do you know
allowed.
People that have done it?
Danielle done it. Whoa! I thought I named her.
Do you want to give her a full name and what the case was and where she did it? Yeah, she did it. Okay.
Yeah, she got an actually quite interesting case. Like, it was a disgusting case because this younger woman.
What were you doing?
Okay, all right.
I thought this was legally binding, and she told you.
I don't know.
What's her full name?
Once it happened.
999.
Stop it.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello.
I think we've jumped the shark with one of your jurors, huh? She just said, "Say less." 1 second.
Do you not know anyone that's done jury duty?
Fleming.
All right.
It was on her Insta story like a year ago, and I remember thinking, that's mad. So she wasn't Insta storying because she was jury duty. And I was I was like, that's mad. Like that.
That's commitment to the cause. She's a good one. She is.
Yeah. Shout out.
Shout out.
Fleming Fitness or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only person I can think of. Didn't your boy Joshua?
I don't think he's done it.
I swear he had one. Maybe when I was gymming with him. Like a long time.
I don't think so.
How have we not been picked? We're obviously really good picks.
I can confirm. We're such good picks that I feel like maybe now I'm starting to feel like my character's getting bashed. Like, do they not trust me to do it?
They don't think you're smart.
I'm starting to get a little bit angry.
Do you know what they did? Apparently, what I've heard is they link into your phone and they seen you kept writing tender hooks, and they were like, "This guy cannot be near any kind of case that's not on."
It could be right, but do you know I've watched so many lawyer programs and stuff where like it's picking the jurors. Like, I don't want to get to it where I then go, "Nah, I don't want him," because I feel like I can't be swayed.
Like, you just have to walk off. I had a very similar situation with Sasha Banks recently, and it was quite alarming. By the way, she wasn't in court and I wasn't a jury. You'll get the reference. You get the reference if you listen to the episode. Yeah, I don't know. We just haven't been picked. I wonder if we could talk to someone about getting picked and getting picked together.
Hey, we can't know each other.
Couple chatty Cathys over in the corner. Yeah. We'd be giggling and everything.
I'm not going to lie.
We'd be going, he's guilty.
I would definitely try and be head juror though. Like, I feel like I've got the whole
head juror
thing.
written all over you.
Yeah. Mate.
Do you know the other thing?
Done.
Question. Do people... Question?
Tell me what you think about me.
You know when they do lineups of people?
Yeah.
Are they all prisoners?
No.
So they get these people off the street?
I think that, yeah, because they're
suspects. They're not all suspects, though. They're people that look like the person that they think did it.
Maybe.
So do they just look like, if you're walking down the street and there's a big ginger guy that's just recently done something really bad, do you reckon the police officer would be like, "Come here, we need you to come in"?
Maybe.
I like the fact that we're saying all this and we're not Googling or anything. We could be it could be like just, there's just 5 prisoners.
Tell us down in the comments if we're absolutely.
Because I have a fear that I'll get picked off the street one day. I'll be walking like with my slush puppy.
Nah, I feel like sometimes that happens, but obviously they put out a hit for it's this guy. There's 6'4" Caucasian male, mullet, bad beard, always wears a hat. Like they're all
Yeah, and he might fat.
I'm never.
You didn't even laugh at that. That was so horrible. I just did, and I only did it for the big laugh.
Who looks like me?
Yeah. My cousin.
Apart from that guy.
You better hope my cousin doesn't do anything.
And your cousin. Your cousin is the only person that looks like me.
Yeah.
If I lose weight, then maybe Chris Pratt. But hey, who's...
Oh, yeah, what the guy I went to school with? He wanders in, the one we went to school with, and they're like, that guy don't look like the others. I think they'd put a little Ed Sheeran and Ron in there, and be like, oh, look at these half-size guys. No, I have a fear. Yeah, I'll be walking down the street in my loose-fitted trousers or something, and the guy will be like, could you come in here? But then they'll be like, oh no, that was him. And I'm like,
yeah, and you get
I'm just walking along,
like,
and then I have this fear that then I end up in like prison forever.
Nah, I think you'll be fine. I think you got some alibis. Everyone always knows where you are. You check in a lot more than
Most.
I would. So yeah,
I hate people that don't check in. I don't like people that don't give me photos of something they're doing that's slightly out of the ordinary.
Yeah, that's true.
Like if I was getting on a flight today, do you know what you're gonna get? Pictures.
Yeah.
You get pictures on the flight, you're going to get pictures after the flight, you're going to have pictures, whatever I'm doing. Everyone's getting it. All the groups. I don't like it when, like, for example, two Peppercorns do random lives where they wrestle things like Randy Orton. They're on flights every week. They're hanging out with Vanessa Hudgens. They're doing all these things. And then, like, randomly, like 3 weeks later, like, oh, yeah, we were chatting to Vanessa Hudgens. And we're like,
you should bring that up with them on episode 52 or episode 100, whatever one we can get them on. You need to bring that up.
Okay, I was about to say why 52, but that's a year. Okay, cool. That's really
or
random.
episode 50,
and also the Vanessa Hudgens thing. They did actually tell us instantly, but I mean, still, I just feel like, you know, getting on a flight, I'd be like, oh,
yeah, mate, I never, yeah, we don't know, do we?
Really annoys me.
I'm gonna clip this and put it in the chat.
Yeah, really. I don't know why we're not seeing more of them. I don't know. I just think if you're doing like nothing, like if you were just taking a picture of your TV in front of you, I'd be like, but even then I'd be like, at least I know what he's up to.
Which I sometimes do. Yeah, I feel like you want it just to know what we're doing.
I'd want your feet in it and whatever beverage you've got. Then I'd be really interested. Yeah. Because one, I really like feet. Secondly, I really like knowing what beverages people are into. Yeah, you like that.
Wow.
Bro, do you have anything to talk about today? I feel like I've taken up this whole episode.
I do, and it's probably the most important part of the episode as well, and it's all the way at the back. And have you watched yet? Nobody Wants This.
Is this Adam Brody and Kristen Bell?
Yes. No,
I watched a trailer for it, and I thought this is right up my strata.
Oh,
have you watched it?
My God,
you binged it.
Unlike carbs and dairy, it is so easy to digest. All right.
How long have you been waiting to say that?
So long.
Yeah, I love that.
Start of the episode.
No, have you written it down anywhere?
No, yeah, I have actually.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I would.
I had it. It's fantastic.
I feel like gluten and dairy would have been better, but anyway.
I know. What did I say?
Carbs.
I was meant to say gluten.
Because like rice isn't that hard to digest.
Yeah, no, rice is not.
Unless you're a worm. I can't imagine a worm dealing with rice well.
It's phenomenal. It's right up my strata, and I had to. It's 10 episodes. They're half-hour episodes, so
easy.
My God, you can start it now and get it done by morning. But you have to. By the time you have to feed the cat, you'd be doing it.
There is other things you have to do, though, isn't there?
Yeah,
that's the annoying thing. But yeah, go on.
But it is so weird that it's so close to Seth.
Yeah. A lot of people say, I don't remember his name, which is annoying me. Sandy Cohen. I don't know the actor's name.
I can't remember the name either.
That guy is known as like basically the like not the biggest Jewish actor, but a Jewish actor that is always used as the kind of the dad that's a Jewish guy.
The Jew, yeah.
Well, you said it feels way more aggressive.
No, but that's the weird thing is the way that this program is.
Yeah, no, that's how they are.
Yeah.
But so he played like the Jewish dad in obviously One Tree Hill in OC.
Yeah.
He was also in Schitt's Creek, I think.
Yes.
But he's in a lot of things. A lot of people joke that he was the dad of Seth Cohen because Adam Brody was going to be the next version of him. And as he's got older, he has kind of started to become the dad that's
honestly,
Jewish in programs.
He's made a lot of millennial hearts. Like, this program is very well written, very current, but also like it's for older.
It pushes the boundaries and it kind of messes with a little bit of snowflake culture kind of thing.
I love it because before then my Jewish knowledge was very limited. It was only to like Christmaka and like the dreidel like that.
That's very minimal. Yeah.
It was minimal. It's a bit more than that. However, like, he's a rabbi.
Yeah.
It's just the way that it's done is so good, and both of them make mistakes throughout it, like people do.
But it
shows how like a good way of getting over it. Like, maybe like they might have made dating even harder for other people. I'm already at that level, that emotional intelligence, and just like
oh my god. Bruno, I reckon I just say this, I just want to put this out. If we ever get a Patreon and we hit a certain level, I want you to describe your dating life in a 5-hour episode. And I want every detail of things that have happened along the way and how you've dealt with it, how you haven't dealt with it, or anything like that. I want the whole thing.
So this is it. So Kristen Bell and her sister are podcast hosts of a pseudo call her daddy type deal. Adam Brody is a rabbi, very high up, very highly thought of, and they both are in different stages of like relationship life, and then they meet each other. A very, very, very Bruno meet you type thing. Oh, I was popping. I was like, oh my god, like, yeah. This is.
I might have to watch it with you, maybe.
I sometimes get annoyed the fact that I do a lot of things alone, but I wish, it would have been a great.
Yeah. Did you see how embarrassing that was? I said I do the same because I thought you were about to say I don't watch them with you, and I was going to say me too because I was going to say with you, but now I watch it with my wife and you watch it on your own. You actually said on my own, not with me particularly. So that was really embarrassing.
Wow.
It'd be a nice precursor because Outer Banks is next Friday. Or next Wednesday.
My days.
Next Wednesday.
Yeah.
But no, we saw that Lissy and I like to sometimes watch the coming up things. And we saw Adam Brody and Kristen Bell and we're like, oh, this will be good. And we watched the trailer and we were like, that looks so good.
I thought it was a film. And then when I saw it was a series, I was like, oh, hello. Let's go.
I really like the look of it. It's right up my street and I will give it a go.
It's very, very, very good.
Yeah,
I cannot recommend it enough for anyone aged 30 to 40.
Yeah.
Watch it. Right. But hey, guys in their early to mid 20s, learn a few things, all right?
Yeah. Yeah, guys.
And girls too.
And there you go.
It's just very good.
That's cool. Something I did want to bring up as well is Sammy, regular listening to the Peppercorn, sent over some cool artwork this week and
phenomenal artwork.
Yeah, some really cool stuff. And it's definitely got us in the feeling of maybe having a cooking channel. Because like we said before, Bruno cooks. I like talking about cooking. I like eating food.
We don't necessarily need a cooking channel. We could just we could expand this one and it could have the podcast and then it could have the content, or it could be our TikTok content, cooking with Bruno, like when I get up to the ranch. Yeah,
I really do. Like, I love the idea of Peppercorn being a barstool type thing. We have multiple facets. Or like the website, The Chive. Do you remember The Chive? John Cena used to promote it a little bit.
Not as well. I know of it, but I don't know
random app.
The workings of it.
And it would just have random things from Bill Murray pictures to anything. Yeah, I don't know, but they're really cool. And I just wanted to say shout out because she sent them through today. We had a little look through them.
Our first fan art. I love it.
I love it. And the one you liked was her favorite as well.
Hey, great minds.
Hey, Peppercorn Boys.
It was very, very similar to the stuff that I had drummed up as well.
She mentioned the program she used that I haven't sent across to you yet. I will do. So just shout out to Sammy because it's really cool when you get to do cool things like that. We never put a Riverside into the group to see if Joe would just join it because we use Zoom. Next week we will, just to see if he
Big Man's gonna have to resubscribe to that Roadside.
Oh no, we'll just send him a Zoom link then.
All right, send him a Zoom link. I want you to make a bloody calendar invite so I don't have to wait on tenterhooks each week to get into this podcast.
Honestly, with the early read you did and then bringing that full circle at the end, I think honestly you're going somewhere, kid. I'll say that.
Thank you. Do you know what? I feel like I'm much more confident because for the past, I don't know, when did I have that Eagle episode? And my
Eagle
audio was horrific.
And
then I found out my audio levels and stuff to turn down the gain. Who knew? Hey,
yeah.
I realized last week I was getting annoyed, like because your mic is not as good as mine. Let's just put it out there. But it was sounding better.
Yeah, your house isn't as nice as mine.
It was sounding better in when I was editing it. I was like, what the hell was going on? And then I realized I had been putting it so it looked nice for the camera. But that's where the actual thing was. So
I heard it change when you did that.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah. So I don't know how this is going to be. This my voice could be so obnoxious, or it could be like the best thing that it's been. So
the best thing you don't know that it's been. Like we talked about sayings there, like best it's ever been. It could have been
best in class. I don't know.
There you go. But you said best it's ever been. Some people, there's a story, isn't there, of a young man in the favelas. He's barefoot, he's playing football in the streets, and then there's some Tory in London who gets the newest Predators. And
is this McGregor Aldo? What's going on?
Well, maybe. And sometimes the guy from favelas with the no boots and that, the pure talent takes him somewhere.
Yeah,
I don't need the Predators.
Or sometimes the Tory guy just knocks him out in 6 seconds. Like this is.
I don't think McGregor's a Tory either. He was at the Arsenal game. That was really random. By
the
way, they were kicking the ball back to him like he was a nutter. Like, do you see Rice and Saka's face? They were like laughing between themselves, like hitting at him.
He was a big child, isn't he?
Yeah, he would like the ball would go past him because he just missed. Honestly, he looked like Little Red trying to control the ball on the field.
He shot at the goal when there was no goal there.
Yeah, but watching the back of him run really fast to go get a ball, and I don't know, everything about it, and like the way he moves and stuff, it was like watching like a spitting image guy walk around.
Yeah,
it's surreal.
It's very weird.
He's never fighting again, by the way, because he had a beer in his hand.
He wants to.
I don't know. That guy's crazy.
It is.
There was something else I wanted to actually talk about, and I can't remember. I just realized what it was, and then I've completely forgotten.
Okay.
So that's good.
I want to also recommend something because I watched it, but now it's blowing up online a little bit.
We're waiting for the same thing.
Kill Tony this week.
Not the same thing.
I've been watching it recently. Obviously, Matt Rife was on it. He did the shows in Madison Square Garden that I watched. I like Shane Gillis as Trump and the other dude as Biden, so I was kind of bought in from when they did the original one, like back in.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd been watching it, and this week's one was just so random and so funny. Like they picked out a guy from the front row from Britain who was a music producer, and they were like making so much. They were the main viral clip. They're making fun of him, and then he gave him the link to the Spotify for it. And then it had this intro, and it's like, "Oh God, jolly good, sir!" Like this, and then it had like the nicest like little beat, and it was like, "Hey," like it was so good. And then one of the bucket pools was so awkward. He absolutely it was such a good start to the show, and then he bombed, and then they got Heidi out, the person that
the tall lady that does Tool Time.
Yes, I think so, and. They just made it go for like 6 minutes, like 16 minutes, I think, just them two on like a first date scenario.
Yeah.
I can't explain.
When people are good, though, it's good. Yeah, they can do anything.
Yeah.
The Tool Time reference there was, you were like, yeah, I think so. I was talking about in the mid-90s.
Oh.
The woman that came out on Tool Time with Tim Allen.
Yes.
She was called Heidi. And you were like, yeah, I think so. You jumped the show.
I don't know. But she is on something else, though.
I think I know she's a stand-up, right?
No. I don't think she's stand-up. I think she might be a slight podcast host. I don't know.
Who did I see today was on Bert Kreischer She used to be a big Viner and TikToker. Her name is Brittany something. She used to have the dark hair with the glasses.
Yes,
She's married to someone I didn't expect. She was on Impulsive once, and I think she talked about it.
Yes, she
did. Is it like Nikki Sixx or
did.
someone like that? She's married to someone like that from like Motley Crue. Or Tommy. It's Tommy. Tommy Sextape. What's his name? Oh my God, why have I blanked? The Motley Crue drummer, Tommy.
Brittany Furlan.
Yeah, and she's married to Tommy.
And she is married to
Pamela Anderson's Sextape.
Tommy Lee. Really?
Tommy Lee, yeah.
She is. Yeah, Tommy Lee since
random,
2019.
Right?
Very random. And yeah, that did come up.
She was like a Viner, wasn't she? Like something like that.
A massive Viner, like with Amanda Cerny and stuff like that.
Stand-up now. The thing I was going to bring up was, I don't know if you've seen...
I'm glad I jogged your memory.
You did. It was... You have seen it because I sent it to you. Sydney Sweeney advertising shower gel or something.
I don't know if you sent it to me, if I haven't seen it, but obviously
you've seen it.
I've seen it. Like,
my question,
what a get for Dr. Squatch.
Yeah, my question is, how much do you reckon she would cost?
That's a lot
for the advert, by the way.
But of course, Dr. Squatch, I had wanted to get for a while because I quite like the idea of the soaps and stuff, the natural soaps. It is so overly priced that I haven't at all.
Are you going to do it now that Sydney Sweeney's in a bath?
I might have to, yeah. Like,
you are the clientele.
I am a marketer's wet dream. Like, this is... I would say, fee-wise, I reckon that's got to be 6 figures, if not 7.
Do you reckon we can get it?
And potential profit.
Do you reckon we could put that together at all?
It could be doable in the
I'll tell you what I do want to do, though.
We're aspire to do that, yeah.
I want to find someone who's doing a live comedy podcast, like a big, like a shits and gigs kind of thing.
Yeah.
In like O2, and I want to buy the billboard outside and say, listen to the Peppercorn Voice. And I looked into it, and it's about 800 quid. And I was like, Joe Hendry did a very similar thing with DVD where he paid for a billboard outside a DVD show. And I thought, do you know what? That's old school, doing a billboard. But David Dobrik did a lot of that kind of stuff. And he kind of...
Well, Logan and Mike, they all did it.
Yeah, so I was like...
I'd love to... Mate, that would be right after my heart, yeah.
Yeah, because then like people that are into comedy are already into podcasts. They're like, surely it's good if it's outside this one. And no one can kind of stop you doing it.
I'm not sure if there is a live one.
They are doing the O2.
Ooh.
Maybe just stand outside with little leaflets.
Maybe.
Anyway.
Or maybe we go live.
We'll do the Indigo Room and they'll do the O2.
Oh, I'm not going to lie. I'd love to do the Indigo Room. Do you know what I'd love to do even like maybe between the Indigo Room? Is go to the Indigo Room, but go to that Sky Bar and do a set in there.
That'd be nice.
It's not there anymore, I don't think. I think it's American Express or something, but that was good fun.
I love that place. It was our easy way into like wrestling events.
That would have been a great setting.
Yeah, we got free hats last time we went to that, didn't we? Did we do that when we went with Kelly? We didn't, did we? Oh, no,
but we did. We went through that. We went through a similar entrance, but we didn't know.
Because we went basically to the front. She went, I'm with the show, and then they just let us through. Like, we were like,
hey, do anything with confidence, and you're fine.
Yeah, well, Kelly can. I don't think we can. If we do it with confidence, we won't fall down or something. Yeah.
I stumble over my words. Yeah,
yeah. I'm like, I'm with the band, and they're like, there's no bands playing. We're like, let me in. Come on.
Have an idea.
Yeah. But anyway,
hey, it's been a delight.
I think that's been a good show.
Look at us. Just doing it without Joe.
I think we don't need him.
Nah.
I think that's it.
Joe is officially removed from the podcast. Yeah,
we got rid of him. There's only 4
even though when you were away, I had a delightful conversation. So the common denominator on who's delightful and who runs, like who carries this podcast.
God, you're ghastly, aren't you? You're a real piece. You're like Mudeng. You're such a piece of work.
It must have been so bad. You're positively ghastly.
Yeah, can I just talk about? Can I just do a little shout out to Mudeng because I love the kid. I think he's brilliant. He's such a piece of work, but I can't stop watching videos. I've already ordered a shirt with him on.
He's bringing so much joy to this world.
Honestly, the way he attacks, he's like Barley, but if he had no fur. The way do you see that one I sent you the Day to Remember beatdown? He's just like sticking his teeth in. Honestly, I watch that daily. I love that kid.
He's good. He's good. Hey.
Yeah, I think that's been it. I think that's it. Do we have to do the reads again?
No, I think I like the idea of doing them at the start of the pod. Get people in the hooks, you know?
Yeah, no one... Well, you don't want to be near those tender hooks.
No, you don't. You don't.
And like I said, no one's listening to it at this point, so we can say what we want.
We could say absolute... Like, we could... So what do you really think?
Oh my God, that's how we're ending the episode.
Key Scott.
Let the people say